What's going on, YouTube? Killerzilla back with probably my most important video yet. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, this is my favorite game. Not only is this my favorite game, but after 7 or 8 years of me completely giving up on games, mind you, and I was pretty good back on Xbox 360. I had a shitty laptop, right? I saw a commercial for a game, and I said, you know what? It's free. Let me try it out, right? Well, that game was Crossout. If you've seen any of my videos and you've seen me with like weird cars or helicopters or like these crazy builds that I post sometimes, that is Crossout. And I usually will put it obviously linked in a Crossout file, and I'll have Crossout hashtagged and all that good stuff. So it's apparent, but I'm making this video mainly because I want to, and other people will post, what game is that? A lot. Like I've gotten that too many times, right? I'm making this for those people and for just people who have absolutely no clue about this game, because the game, it doesn't need more players, but I feel like it would have so many more players if people knew about it and just gave it an honest try, right? Now, like I said, this game is free, so for you to try the game, it's going to cost you literally nothing. Not only that, when you get the game, they give you free stuff, right? So you're not starting off at a base level 0 with absolutely nothing to build, and you're just using like default stuff. There is no default stuff. What you do is you're going to get the game, they're going to give you a bunch of free stuff, and you can build anything you want, and you go from there, right? So we'll get into all that, but this is just, the intro. Now, the thing about my videos is everything will be chaptered out with any of my videos. I'm not going to be going too in-depth with things. This is just an overview for like a brand new player, or even a newer player that like literally this is their first time even learning about the game, right? So I'm just describing the game. I'm just going to be going over the game and like the menu and all the things it has. I will be following this up with multiple videos that like are specific, right? So building, crafting, marketplace, skins, battles, challenges, all that stuff will be their own individual videos. But like I said, down in the description, you can go through and go to whatever part you want to go to. You can skip this intro. That's all up to you. But I want to do a little bit more of a backstory about this game. So, like I said, it is my favorite game. And why is that? Because it combines all my favorite games, basically, right? Now, if I can describe the game to anybody, but see, I'm a little older, so you might not know it. Twisted Metal was a game where you drove around with a car with guns on it, and it was like a battle royale, right? So I say it's like that game, plus Armored Core, which is where you build like robots, plus Diablo 2, because you have the ability to do raids, get resources, grind resources and fuel, craft the weapons. Once you craft the weapons, there's a marketplace where you can trade and sell your stuff. So it's very much like an RPG shooter builder, I guess, where you're building, and then again, like people get thrown off by the whole thing, like I don't like cars, I don't like racing games, I don't do car stuff, right? Neither do I've raced dirt bikes since I was like 5 years old. I don't work on dirt bikes, I don't do any of that. I know how to ride them, but it doesn't mean I'm not interested even in a car. Cars are a very small part of this game because you have wheels, but you also have tank treads. You have helicopter blades, you have hovers, you have legs, you have bigger mech legs, you have legs with wheels, you have these weird roller balls. You can go around and just fly helicopters for the whole time if you want. You can go around and use mech legs the entire time and just be a robot if you want. You don't need to ever be a car if cars aren't your thing. So do not let that sway you from trying the game out. And like I said, the game's free, so you might as well try it. Just try it and give it an honest opinion. Like, give it a week. No game at all do you get in not knowing anything about it, and you just get in and just, I like this game, like, because I know everything. You're going to like the game because you're going to like the aspects, but the more you're learning, the more the game becomes fun, right? But this game obviously is fun off the rip because you can spend hours just building, messing around in the garage, building crazy things. There's people who have like art builds where they just build like funny stuff, like I've seen people build like full-size Pokemon. You know what I mean? Some of them have built full-size Pokemon that actually move around and have like laser eyeballs and rocket launchers and stuff, right? So there's so much to do with this game. Like you can spend literally every day for a year, even probably more, playing this game and not do the same thing twice. It's never repetitive. There are obviously repetitive parts like the daily challenges and stuff, blah, 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 blah. But let's just say, okay, you're a person who I don't have time and I don't want to grind and I don't have time for Crossout. You don't need time because reality of it is if you want to knock out all the daily challenges and all that good stuff, like it's not super important to do, but it can help. It'll take you like 45 minutes to an hour. I'm going to make a video actually on that because I can get on for like an hour a day and knock out everything I have to do, put stuff on the market, and then go play a different game or go to work or do something else, right? So it's not time consuming. Now, the grinding part, obviously, you're like, oh, I'm not going to have anything because I don't have time to grind and blah, 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 blah. There is a shop where you can buy stuff for money. Now, let me say this very clearly. This game is not pay to win. You're going to have a bunch of kids that are garbage at every game they play, and they're going to tell you it's pay to win. But here's how this game works. When you build something, every single part you put onto whatever you're building has a number on it, a power. It gives you 30 power, 50 power, 110 power. Once you create your build and you're going out into a game, all those parts are added up. Let's say it's 5,000. So you're a 5,000 power score build. That means the game is going to match you with other 5,000 power score builds. So for me, let's say somebody who spent money on the game and my build's 17,000. I will never fight you. You will never see me. We will never be in the same game, right? So here's the thing. How can it be pay to win if everybody in the game is basically around the same power score as me? We all have basically the same items, basically the same powered guns, you know? It's very, very fair in the way that it does its PvP matchmaking. Extremely fair, actually. So, you know, the more you're going to hear that, it's just people crying and complaining. The only real reason why, like, for me, I play a lot and I spend money is because I'm collecting all the items. I just want to have the ability to build anything I want so I can make videos for you guys. I can make videos and have the ability just, okay, today I want to use these. I have them. I don't have to grind them and craft them, and I don't have to, you know, look at the marketplace all day to try to buy one at a decent price. I don't have to do that because I just have it. But that's different. I'm trying to make content and blah, 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 blah. You as a new player, you can use anything, but, you know, just if you're an average player, you grind up a couple resources, you work on one thing that you like. Let's say, oh, I like playing as a shotgun car. Then you craft all the items to make that legendary shotgun car you want, you know? And end time, as you get those items, you slowly build that car. You really could play with just one build. And not just one build, just having one setup of like a gun and a cab, you can create so many different builds with just that one set of guns. You know what I mean? So it's never going to be pay to win. It literally can't be. Okay. So if you hear that, don't fall into that pit hole. Also, one thing that I'm going to say that's very important is general chat. Stay out of general chat. There are, I don't want to call them famous because I'm not trying to give them credit. There are infamous people who just hang out in general chat, and the way they play Crossout is they just talk in general chat. They never play the game. They'll sit there and tell you how good they are and how everything they say is fact and they know the best this and that, da 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 da. But you'll notice after being on for like 2 or 3 hours that every time you go back to the lobby, they're still yapping in the chat. And then you think to yourself, if you've been typing in the chat this whole time, when are you playing? Oh, that's right. They don't play because they suck. So don't fall into that, right? You're going to want to either like find a clan off the bat, or you can ask me. Post comments down below in any of my Crossout videos, any questions you have. I will give you my opinion or fact, right? So if I ever say like, hey, this is what I think, that's truly what I think. And I have a lot of history and experience to back that up. But if I know something is for sure 100% certain, I'll even tell you. I'll be like, no, this is definitely it. You know what I mean? I'll never try to confuse you and do that other crazy shit. The people in the chat that just sit there and yap it up, they're just straight up trolling people. Like, you'll ask a dumb question and they'll like basically gaslight you into you wasting your money and time and getting an item that's useless or not good for your situation because they think that's funny. It's disgusting, to be honest. But very quickly, you will learn who those people are, right? So their names I will not be saying, but let's just say everybody knows their names. So you'll see in the chat and people will call them out in their shit. So you'll be able to figure them out pretty easily. But the chat's not, again, not part of the game really. So don't worry about that. Just stay out of it. Okay. Other than that, you know, you're going to be doing like an adventure mode in the beginning that I would recommend you to do that's going to teach you basically everything you kind of need to know about the game, other than what I'm about to show you right now. You see what I'm saying? So you'll be pretty well versed into it where you're not going to really need anybody's opinion. You're not going to be really asking many questions. But like I said, if you do, just please come back here and please ask me, because I will respond almost immediately, and I'll help you out, you know? Yeah, that's basically it. We're about to get into the best game ever. Oh, I forgot to mention, the game's free, and the game's free on PC, console, Xbox, PlayStation, and like multiple things. Well, I'll show you in a second, but let's get into it because I'm sure you're tired of just looking at my face. All right, so now here's your first step. You have two different options, okay? You could download the game either through Steam, or you can download it through the Gaijin website, which is what I did, okay? Now, there's a couple of different reasons, and let's really get into that first, because that's going to be really, like, very important, okay? Steam is not used by many people, okay? It doesn't really do anything. The only thing it does is when Steam updates, you can't play your game, which is crazy. If you do it from the Gaijin website, the servers are never down unless there's actual maintenance going on, but you don't have to deal with any of the Steam bullshit, right? That's my opinion. I didn't use Steam, but you're more than welcome to use Steam. Or you can go to the Gaijin website, which I will show you right here now. Boom. So this would be Steam, right? So you go into search and you go Crossout, and boom, it's right here. Crossout free. Boom. This would be the game. So as you see, developers, Targum Games, publishers, the Gaijin Network, blah, 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 blah. Free to play game. Well, for me, play game because I already have it downloaded. But bam, that's how you would do it through Steam. Or you can go to Gaijin Entertainment, which is gaijin.net. So GAIJIN.net. Now you can pick your language up here in the top right corner. And as you see, you have 3 different games they make, which are all free, right? Crossout is right here on the right. That's the one I highly recommend. Enlisted, I don't hear too much about. War Thunder is kind of becoming more popular now, but I don't understand why, because everything you can build in here is... Well, look, here's how I'm going to put it. War Thunder is more modern military vehicles, right? And Crossout is Mad Max, right? It's like that post-apocalyptic, build a crazy contraption. You could build regular cars, you could build regular helicopters and regular stuff, but you can also build craziness, right? You're not restricted just to the parts of modern vehicles. You get the miniature version of like slabs and pieces where you can build modern stuff, or you can get creative and build something crazy, right? So go to Crossout, download Crossout, boom. Now, as you see up here, it says redeem code. I also prefer the Gaijin website because that's where you get the forums. So any updates that are coming, any like news, information, you can get that all through here. You can also use support if you need it, which you're not really ever going to need it. Also, this is where you can get the free packs, right? Or you can also do this. So look, you can go google.com and then Crossout free packs, right? Bam. And you go to crossout.net, which is basically like once here, if you click on Crossout, it's going to bring you to crossout.net, right? So that's basically the website still. It's just specifically now Crossout. But if you want to just get the link straight to the packs, you can use this, or like Reddit. People will post the links. Some people aren't as trustworthy or as trusting of that stuff, so I get it if you don't want to use like that. But just go straight to Crossout. There's Crossout website. Search for packs, like you go in here, and then you can see you have Windows, you have Xbox Series X, S, Xbox One, PS5, PS4. You have many options to play this game, right? Then, like I said, you're going to Google the free packs. There's like 11 of them, I believe. Like, look. Yeah, all these are free packs, so there should be 11. And when you're going to do the free packs, I'll show you the way to properly do it just to make sure you get all of them. Because I kept doing the same thing where I was like, did I get this one? Did I get this one? Did I get this one? And it was kind of freaking me out, to be honest with you. And I kept thinking to myself, like, I'm missing one, right? But if you do it the way I'm about to show you, it's going to be much easier for you and you're not going to have to worry about any of that, okay? So now, after you do all of that, you're going to now start the game. Also, remember too, when you're making this, right? It is all free to play, and you know, the free packs are really important. They really are. Because I did say, buying stuff doesn't matter, and it doesn't. But having that extra like oomph when you start, it's such a great thing because starting from absolutely nothing is not fun. I shouldn't say that. All right, so now once the game is downloaded, you're going to see right here you have the latest news where you have like announcements and stuff, the update that's coming up. There's tournaments. Hold on. So you have tournaments that are held where you can get prizes, right? So basically it's like exclusive maybe an exclusive paint or an accessory like a horn or an exhaust pipe or even full packs worth of stuff. But they have tournaments very often. Another amazing thing, right? So here we go. We're going to hit play. We're going to get in there. Now remember, you can change all the languages on like all of these screens just to make it easier if you're not English speaking. Just to make it easier for you. Easy anti-cheat. You want to know what's crazy? It actually works. Why is it taking so long to load, you'd say, right? Because guess what? Once this thing loads in, I dare you to try to cheat. It's over for you, buddy. Probably another reason why I love this game, because it's all just like real. Everything about this game shows that the people who made the game give a shit, right? I like any game. I like any game that comes out with a game and says, okay, it's pretty good, but just updates it to be better and better and better. Rather than coming out with a game and every year, even less than a year, you have a new game every like 9 months. Call of Duty. You know what I'm talking about. Like, this is amazing. Like Rainbow Six. They knew they had something good. They wanted to keep it going, and they kept it going because they just update it. You don't need to make a new game when you could just update the already good game you have. And it keeps it fresh. It keeps it great. And like I said, you can do something new every day in this game because I'm about to show you. Now look, you got your main thing. You're going to make your account, your password, blah, 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 blah. I do remember me because nobody's coming in this room. So whatever, you can turn on shared computers so you can't just auto log in. Whatever. Now, you pick your language, you're going to log in, bam. Ignore this. This actually doesn't mean anything. This is actually really good what just happened. I'm going to have to clip this and show this to my clan really quick. Let me just get a quick little slice and dice here. Blank. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to show that to the boys. Okay. New confrontation. None of this matters to you, so don't worry about it. Don't worry about this. I just want to get to the plain screen. How do I get rid of this? Here we go. Okay. Now you're going to notice this. On the bottom, you're going to have 3 different slots. Let's call them. Your center slot is for your armored car, which could be anything. It could be a hover, legs, whatever. It could be anything other than something with helicopter blades. That's it. So, on the left side, you're going to have your helicopter slot, your armored aircraft. That's where you can build something and put the blades on it, the actual chopper helicopter parts, the back rotors, all the rotor type movement parts. That's going to be left slot. Your center slot is all the other movement parts. Now the right slot is your Leviathan, which is what just kind of popped up before. This isn't something you're going to really be focused on in the beginning at all. It's basically a super version of your build. So you can use more parts, you can put more guns on this. It's basically like a Leviathan, like a super beefed up tank. And then every day I send it out into the world and it comes back like this. It tells me all the stats of how many people it killed, how many times it's won, and I get copper out of it, right? So that's it. So like that's it. I build it and then I hit deploy and boom. For 24 hours it's out there fighting people, right? At the end of that 24 hours, it comes back and it gives me all the loot. So, pretty cool. That's something completely different. I'll make a separate video on that. But let's focus on the main builds. You know what? I'm going to delete everything here just to show you from the beginning, right? Let's go for the mainframe first. Now, up here, you're going to have your garage, crafting, market, storage, shop, exhibition, game center, challenges. This is basically you, like your stats, where you can change, like, you know, your card, your background, your banner, all that good stuff. These coins are basically your market coins, which you can spend in the actual market. This is called CROSSCROWNS, which is stuff you can use to buy packs with, right? Now, you can buy either of these for cash money, but you don't have to, right? You can get coins just by crafting and selling and then stacking up coins. You can even farm a bunch of resources and sell just the resources without crafting it. It's all up to you, and we'll get into that in a second. This is basically my premium subscription, just showing me it's active, which I did buy. And your notification center is basically like your challenges for the day, what's going on with your clan. If any of your friends share something, it'll show up in your notifications right here. And then this is your settings button, where you have the news you can access again. You can do your settings. You can go to a guide, which shows you basically like a Q&A about different things. And then you have obviously like title screen, which is where we logged in, so we don't want to do that. Or you can log out completely. Now, I've never had to report an error before, but if you have to do that, that's obviously right here. So let's just go into the guide really quick to just give you a quick overview, right? So frame and movement parts, right? So how to attach the cabin to the frame, more detail to be found in the video on the official channel, and then there's the link, and then it explains. The frame is the base of the armored vehicle. Its elements can be attached only to each other and to the cabin. Without connection to which the frame cannot exist. I read that weird, but what that means is if your cabin isn't mounted on a frame, your cabin cannot be mounted. Your cabin has to go on a frame, is basically what that means. At the same time, all the movement parts in the game can be installed only on the frame, so that goes as well for your movement parts. If you lose it, you will be immobilized. Meaning, if I shoot your wheels off, you're not going anywhere, buddy. Which is a strategy some people use. Now, as you see, they have like mini videos right here where you can filter through them. So, like, see how it shows everything, right? And this is something I would look into, you know, as a new player. I would watch all of these if I were you. Now, like I said, this is not going to be a super in-depth video. This is just why this game is so good, okay? And I hope you have a good understanding of the game, so then when you do decide to try it, it's not all brand new to you. That's the purpose of this video. Now, I will be making more videos on, like, building, right? The market, certain battles, certain types of vehicles. Like, I'll be doing a lot more in-depth, different videos after this one. But this is the one that started all off because I'm trying to get a bigger base for this game. This game needs more people to play it. It doesn't need it. Like, it's not going to die without it. We have a lot of people who are hardcore Crossout players, right? And we're only getting more and more by the day. But don't follow the Steam thing where it's like, only these people download it and play the game. Like, nobody's using Steam. Everybody's using Gaijin, dude. So if 90% of the players aren't on Steam, obviously those statistics don't mean jack, right? Which will show you how fast I get into games. It's not a problem whatsoever. Alright, so we're going back. The garage right here is basically this. Your main screen where you can have your builds. You can select the mode where you want to go play. So now your missions up here, this is like an open build where you can use any parts you want. You can helicopter, you can use legs, you can use anything, right? The classic missions right here are more like original, OG shit, right? So wheels, the old spider legs, hovers are okay too, but you're not going to see any helicopters here. You're not going to see any mech legs here. That's not going to happen. Raids are basically your bail runs if you're a Diablo player, right? This is like PvE, right? So it's like a raid of a bot run. And you're going to kill a bunch of bots, you're going to kill a bot boss, and you're going to get resources, right? Now, there's different resources. Like you see, this one gives you copper. This one gives you plastic. This one gives you copper. This one gives you electronics. And copper again, right? Now, that's just for the raids. Up here, you can get batteries. You can get wires. You can get scrap metal. But that's all through, like, up here, okay? Now, the raids are basically done from the gas that you get every day. So every day, 7 U.S. East time for me, the game will reset. So your daily challenges will reset, all your daily stuff resets, and your gas resets, right? So up here you'll see 200. That's the fuel I have right now. So full tank, 200 liters. Now I can fill it up if I have any other gas that I got either through fighting or if I bought it on the market, you can buy more gas. So as a new player, what you probably will be doing is making a build that has gas tanks, winning, and then when you win, you get gas, and then using that gas to go in and do raids, and then keep knocking out raids, because as you're knocking out raids, you're leveling up, you're unlocking more stuff, you're learning the game, but you're also acquiring a lot of resources, right? And those resources can be used to either build yourself new stuff to become more powerful, right? To get your dream car, or if you're not into all that and you don't want to have to like learn how to really make the most out of crafting, you could just sell your resources straight up and then use that money to go into the market and buy yourself the item like that. Now, obviously, there's pros and cons to either or. I mean, sometimes certain resources, the price goes up super big time. Sometimes certain items are very easy to craft and they're selling for a lot of money, right? So the market itself is a whole different beast, which we're going to get into next. But give me 1 second. Clan stuff, this is all your clan battles. I highly suggest joining a clan off the bat. There are plenty of low-level clans that don't do clan stuff, really, right? But the point of it is once you're in a clan, you have access to another resource called badges. And badges are probably the most valuable thing. You can get resources, you can get item boxes, which is like a crate that gives you a random rare item, right? So it's like a little bit of a gamble, but I'll show you that also in a second. Now, your events and brawls are basically like the coolest part, I think, because there's different events that just pop up, right? So like there'll be Halloween, Christmas ones, Easter ones, all very themed stuff, but there'll also be like fun. Well, they're all fun, but like just funny stuff, right? So right here, this is you'll see how it's not bold, it's kind of like faded. That means I can't join it right now. Like as you can see, these are all say locked because I don't have a like. Actually, you know what? I don't have a build. So like now that I have a car that's valid and I can actually enter a game, you'll see that all this stuff unlocked and now I can join, right? But if it's faded like that and has a lock on it, that means something is stopping you from doing it. If you click on it, it'll say right here, in this case, access will open in 2 days. So it's not open yet, right? But if I had, let's say, what's a good one to show you? If I had something that's like super low power score, like, for example, if you look at batteries, see how it says from 5,000 PS and then from 5,000 PS response enabled. That's like the quick details of the game, right? That means you have to at least be 5,000 power score to get into batteries, okay? Now, you're going to be starting off on like scrap or whatever, where there's no limit. You can be literally any number, doesn't matter. And that does not mean that when you go in, it's going to be all 5,000 people. The game will match you to the closest players that are closest to you, right? So whatever power score your build is, all the other players will be generally right around your power score. And that's why I also say it's not pay to win, because everybody else is basically on your level. Whatever you do, whatever you join, no matter what game it is, other than raids, because raids you're not fighting people, the power score is going to be the deciding factor on who's getting into your game with you, right? So it's very fair. But the events, like this one is locked, but let's say like this one, Legends of the Exhibition. Now, the exhibition is a place where whatever cars you build, you can post them on the exhibition for people to see. People can download your blueprint. They can like and subscribe to you. And like if you're a really good builder, some people just get all into building. They build art builds, right? So basically, it's like a build that's not necessarily a functioning build, but it's like an art thing, like a big toilet. And there's the mines drop mines into the toilet, right? Like something stupid, funny like that sometimes. A lot of people do make art builds that are very functionable. Like you can move around and shoot with them. They're just clunky and weird because they're art builds, right? But it all depends on you. Like I said, you can sit here and build all day long. Like the building part is so intricate and in depth that I've lost hours to just sitting there and building and building and building, right? So this is basically that. It means all the old like builds that were voted the best or the funniest, or maybe they won they have competitions as well where it's a build off and everybody submits their builds and we vote on it and the winner gets something, right? So maybe it's the winners from that or people who have the highest amount of likes in the exhibition. You can choose from all those builds and you fight each other in one big free for all brawl, right? If you look at my thing, like the scorpion one, there is the chicken one, there's the ones with the rippers. I put a lot of events on my YouTube channel because they're fun to me. I really enjoy them because it's something different, and especially for newer players, it gives you access to parts, cabs, weapons that you may not have right away, right? So if you do the event gives you a pre-made build. You get to try that stuff out, right? Now, right here is basically where these are people who posted their game types because you can also make different game modes. Now you can have like pre-made builds that let's say you built and people have to use those builds, or it could be open to whatever that person wants to bring in, right? This is another great place just to play some random game modes that give you a little bit of a feel for items you don't have, right? But you, as I said, you can like them here and see which one is voted the highest. Whichever one is voted the highest, it'll filter through, and that's what you'll get to be able to play, right? That's where you see, like right here, my brawls. These are game types that you yourself made. So you make all the settings, you pick the map, you can pick the blueprints of the cars you want, and then you can post it. And it's the same thing as the exhibition with the build, but this is for game types, right? Then the top authors are basically, you know, the people who are, there are a lot of like just straight builders and just straight like game makers on this game, right? So they rarely play, but they play so they can build stuff or they can make different games for people, which is cool. Like I said, there's so much to do on this game. It's out of control, right? So let's go back here. The next thing would be this Bedlam. Bedlam is basically hell. I don't suggest you go in there as a new player. Bedlam is basically just a sandbox, right? The power scores do not restrict you. You can be in there with somebody who has all the best shit in the world and you can have literally nothing. It's just a free-for-all where people go in to like test their builds out sometimes and just talk shit to each other. It really is what it is, right? I went in there maybe once or twice. There's no rules, no rewards, as you see. You get to respawn, obviously, but I don't like it. Some people love it. Some people only play Bedlam, right? It is what it is. Now, right here, this is where you're going to be playing. I suggest. Awakening is an adventure mode. It's complete open world. You drive around. There's a story. You're not forced to do the story. Like, you can go to the certain checkpoints that continue the story, which I suggest doing. Get that out of the way. Because that gives you more levels. It gives you more gear. It gives you more parts to actually be able to use. Then, when you're done with that, you can cruise around the wasteland. It's called the wasteland. There's piles of junk, or there's a scrap pile, right? If you hover over those piles, you collect resources. That's another way you can be getting resources. Also, there are outposts for different factions, right? So the factions are the groups or the gangs of the wastelands, and each part has a specific like look to it that makes you know like, okay, that's that faction because it's got spikes on it, or that's that faction because it's a bright yellow construction piece, right? So that's how you can differentiate the factions that are driving around, because there's a bunch of AI faction bots that are cruising the wastelands, which you can kill them and also get resources. But each faction will have outposts along the way where you can kind of park outside and it'll load you a mission. It'll send you on some like little random mission, never too hard to do. And if you complete the mission, you get resources and experience. And that's how you can kind of get used to the game without having to deal with like just round-based stuff, right? It gives you more freedom to cruise, get a feel for driving or flying or whatever you're trying to do. And the story mode's pretty cool. It's not very long. It gives you a background to the game, like the factions, the characters in the game, and it makes you understand what Crossout really is, right? Now, that's called Awakening, and it says Adventure Mode, right? Beautiful. Now, let's get down to the brass tacks of life, okay? Crafting is crafting. It's very in-depth, and I'm going to go over that very quickly because I'm going to make a video extremely in-depth on it. but I just want to show you kind of like what it's about, okay? So look, you have your crafting, you have your factions, you have your technology tree. Now for people who don't know the game, the technology tree will show you what you need to make what you need, right? So let's say I want to make a Spectre. I can click on it, right? Boom, and it'll show me like to make the Spectre, I'm going to need these items, right? Now, let's say if I don't have this item, what do I need to make that item? Boom, I need those. But what if I don't have that item? Well, I need those, right? So it branches it into a tree to show you what you have to make to build your way up to a higher level item, right? So you have regular base items, then you have common items, which are white. Then the regular, this blue right here, that's going to be rare. Then you're going to have special, which is like a teal. Epic is purple. Legendary is yellow. And then relic is like a goldy orange. Obviously, relic being the best. Relics are extremely expensive. I wouldn't even think about a relic right now. And you don't really need one, to be honest with you. I kill like definitely people who spend a lot of money on this game, who have relics. I kill them with legendary guns all the time. No problem. Easily multiple. I'll wipe out an entire game of relic people with a good legendary build, right? But obviously your goal would be eventually you want to own a relic, but that's not the point. So now look, if you go back to the basic crafting, this is your technology tree. You can filter it by the part, whether you want a cab, a gun, a module, a movement part. The type of gun, so a machine gun, a shotgun, auto cannon, a regular cannon, rockets, grenades. You can filter it by whatever you want, right? Or you could just scroll over, okay? Now, the factions, like I said, are the gangs of the wasteland, right? So lunatics have their own like builds which you can use, but I wouldn't recommend. You're going to pick a faction off the bat. So as you see right now, I'm Nomad. But I can change at any point. So let's say if I want to go to Lunatic, I'll change faction, right? When you level up a faction, that's how you unlock those items, okay? So you can't really get to those items unless you've leveled up whatever faction you're doing. Now, you yourself are an engineer, and you're always going to be leveling up engineer. That's just basically, let's say, you. But as well to the engineer leveling, you're going to be doing a different faction. Now, as you see, mine all say 1. That's actually Prestige 1. I already made it to the max level. Max level is 15. Once you get to 15, then you start going into prestiging. But I'll show you right now. Look, if you go into right here. So these are your builds that you can get for the faction. And then these are the parts you unlock. So at level 1, you get these. At level 2, you get the character and you get these parts. Then you'll get this coupon for workbenches, which is crafting these parts, and it shows you, right? In each faction, like you see, like look, Nomad has this weird like green look to them, but then if you go to Lunatic and you look at their parts, it's like red bars with the corrugated metal and the holes and spikiness. Like they all have a very different look, you know what I mean? And they all have a very different use as well, and that's another thing we'll get into. But as I said, this is just a quick little overview. Now, if you go to crafting, I kind of showed you the crafting tree, but you can go by, like, right up here in the top left, just straight crafting. You can go through each faction and then go through, like, their specific weapons, you know? So if you know you're looking for a retcher, you know it's a nomad thing. Now, okay, how do I do that? And I'll show you. Now, not only do you need these items to combine to make this weapon, but you're going to need resources to use to create that weapon. So as you see, these are your resources, and they're not all the same. So like legendaries, you're going to need electronics and batteries, but if you were to go for like a blue item, you're only going to need scrap and copper, which is pretty easy to get, you know what I mean? So you can easily craft your way up or craft yourself a pretty good build off the bat, especially if you get those free packs, because that's going to give you enough stuff to use off the bat where you should be fine, okay? Now, here is the crazy part that even I haven't really mastered yet because it's volatile, the market. So as you see, this is the market. Now, you can search for whatever specific keyword or item. If you know the name of it, you can search by a base cab. You can do the weapon, the module, the wheels, the accessory parts, which is like horns, right? You know, which actually make different sounds. The ducks are big. My clan is actually called the Quack Addicts, and I collect a couple ducks myself. Um, there's a bunch of different things. So like brake lights, exhausts, holograms. Like this, when you hit the button, you have like the flex come out of your car. The accessories are not something to focus on, but they're cool. They're very cool, and you get them like freely in battle passes and stuff. So they're pretty awesome. But as you see, so look, sold for, boom. This is what they're selling for right now. This is how many offers are on it right now. And then like this is the max price, right? Orders, the profit that you can make, the rate of interest that's going on. Now let's just say this, for example. We click on it, boom. This is 24 hours, the buy pattern of this specific item. We can go into the week-long buy pattern, or we can go into 2 weeks to see like really if this item is really up or really down. 2 weeks is probably where you're going to want to go. Now, as you see the sell orders, that means somebody's selling this for 50, right? Somebody's selling this for 50.39 because there's one. And 2 people are selling it for 50.43. So obviously, once somebody buys it for 50, then boom, now 50.39 will be the next price to buy. The buy orders are basically offers. So let's say if I don't want to spend 50, I can offer 47.10, however many I want, and then somebody can decide to sell it to me for that price if they want, right? That's where that whole thing goes. And this is the market. So like I said, you can also filter by the rarity if you're looking for like, in the beginning, you're going to be doing obviously like rare and special. Special is probably like your goal at this point. Rares are nice and rares do rip. Rares can be very powerful. Like in decently power score games, people will use rare items because there's so many of them. There's more of them than anything, I think. And some of the items are just so good. Like they're really good. But anyway. Now you're going to see building, and I'm sure if you were really paying attention in crafting, you also saw building. And then in market, you're going to see building. Now, building is basically in your, what is this called again? Your garage, I'm sorry. I don't know why that word kind of gone. So let's go into my character. You see your character, you click on your character, you have all your little stats, whatever, how many stuff, the things that you've crafted. It'll show you in your slots. So that's in my slot right now. That's in my slot right now. That's in my slot right now. My exhibition, I have 217 likes, 65 of my blueprints have been downloaded, and 9 people have subscribed to me, which is crazy considering I don't use the exhibition too much. I kind of hide my better builds. I kind of keep them to myself. I don't really post them. I will post things that look really cool sometimes just to see, and that's where most of those likes came from. But you can make all this private. No one needs to be able to see it, but you don't have to do that. The banner is obviously, your person. You could do your background. You could do your logo. You unlock all of that through doing the adventure modes, leveling up, packs, all that good stuff. You can get this, right? Your trials are basically like your little missions, so you can break it down into the guns. Each individual type of gun has a mission for it. The raids, each raid is based on a faction, and it cycles factions every 30 minutes, I think. So if you did a bunch of lunatic raids, you can, unlock stuff and get banners and points and resources. Brawls are more like specialty things, like the events and stuff. Trading is obviously trading. So if you sell a bunch of rares, or you buy a bunch of rare stuff, once you hit that threshold, you'll get the achievement, basically. You'll unlock the banner. And I've actually been trying to knock all these out and 100% these. Like, that's been my little goal for myself now. Patches are basically things you earn in game, right? So let's say this, right? Win an assault battle without being destroyed. At the end of the game, if it was an assault battle and I was not destroyed, I'll get that patch. You see what I'm saying? Dominator. So win a domination battle on an armored aircraft without being destroyed. Destroy rare parts in a mission. You get Deconstructor. These are just little like badges. Literally, they're called patches, but they're like basically little award badges you get for doing what you did. Now they have ones for missions, for weapons, for raids, for brawls, and for trade, just like the trials. It's basically the same thing, except like this visually will show you at the end of the game. Your medals are more like, I don't even know how to describe them, experience based, right? So like little dumb things, take part in a battle against live players. You have to usually do them like a certain amount. So like, look, I got this guy out of this, I got that. Where's the one I'm working on actually right now? I think it's the one with the Leviathans. Oh, right here. So look, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So to do number 1, I need to do it 5 times, and then 15 times, and then 50 times, right? These are all just little like side missions, which I enjoy because this game is very in depth to where you can get on and just build for hours. But let's say, hey, one day I want to sit here and I want to knock out this mission. Boom, now you have that option, right? You get something for it. There's always a reward, and some are better than others. Now your garage is what I was just kind of explaining before. That's where your car is. That's where you do your building at. And not only that, that's where you do your test driving at. Now, you can build, which means like, look, this is my garage basically. So inside there is where my building happens, where I build my actual car. That door will open. I can come out. I can hit these jumps. I made this little course right here. This little half pipe area. That's a goal for when we do the soccer events, which are awesome. Look up my soccer, my hockey, and Big Black Scorpions on my channel. So much fun, right? You have all this room out here. Then there's a racetrack all the way back here where you can actually time yourself. So you can go through the track and see the fastest time. This is where you can activate bots. So if you go by this radio tower, bots will come out of this arena and you can fight them. I have the flaming hoop. I have moving targets. More moving targets. Behind here, which you can't see right now, I'll show you when I'm driving. There's weapon testers. So it's like a ball. And you can shoot it. And then it'll calculate and tell you how much damage you're doing. So you can kind of see how much damage you're doing. But these little ramps and stuff that I have here, you can craft them with scrap as well, with the resources. So you can make your range look really cool. You can make a blueprint. You can share this on exhibition as well. But this is more like personal preference. But your friends can visit your range. You can invite people to your range. And they can drive around and see what you built and drive on it and stuff. You can do painting on it, all the stuff. Like, very cool. There's just so much to this game. It's insane. So now your range will be accessed through test drive, right? So whether you're in here and you're in build mode, so let's look, this is build mode where I can kind of pick each part. These are like my parts right here, so I can pick a cab. These are my cabs. I can pick whatever cab I want to use. Each one has like different things, right? So you have your power, your maximum speed, the tonnage, the mass limit, the amount of energy, because each weapon you use takes up a specific amount of energy. So you want a cab with a decent amount of energy. The features, which this one has good ram damage. The durability is the natural durability of the car. The mass is the weight, because there are weight limits. You cannot go over your weight limit. So there's light cabs, medium cabs, heavy cabs. You have to stay within your limit, or you're going to be moving as slow as a slug, right? So now this ability for this car is for every 80 meters covered by the car, the collision damage is increased by 40%, and that stacks up to 5 times, right? So that means basically every time I do 80 meters, when I hit somebody with the tip of this car, it's going to do some serious damage. And that damage is going to keep stacking the more I go. Now at the bottom, you're going to see resistance to damage, time to self-destruct, and tonnage. That's a fuse. That's something that you're not going to have to worry about right now. That'll be a completely different video, but that's like something super special, and you're going to notice all my stuff is basically fused. Like I said, I really like this game, but that's not the point. So, boom, weapons. Weapons are, divided into categories. Now, you can also pick through rarity. Your shotguns, whatever you want, you can just, boom, pop a weapon on, like, bam. Just, doop, you know what I mean? I can remove a weapon. And then, let's say I want to put this in here, right? Bam. Boom. You know what I mean? So you can fully build this car down. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it starts from literally nothing. So, like, when you start, you're basically going to do this. Like, that one thing we watched in the beginning, you're going to start with a frame, right? So you're going to throw down a frame. You're going to keep putting frames down, right? Boom. Move that over. You're going to find the cab. You're going to put a cab on. Then you're going to grab some wheels. You have all different wheels, different tracks. You have legs with wheels. You have spider legs, big spider legs, helicopter stuff. You have mech legs. You have all types of craziness, right? So let's just say I put these on there, right? Like bam, 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 bam. This actually isn't centered. Bam, boom, and boom, right? And then I want to put some guns on there. Bam, bam, right? So, like, this is basically, like, what you're going to be doing, right? Except, once you have all your weapons and stuff, and look, right here, you have your engines and your modules, right? So your engines will give you more power. It'll allow you to carry more weight. Then you have stuff like these generators will give you more energy. So it'll give you more energy, allowing you to put more guns on your car. You have ammo boxes, which you're going to need because you're going to need ammo for your guns. But they do explode, so you should never put them like I just did. This will allow you to reload faster. This will allow the cooldown to be quicker. I'll actually show you that too. And this will allow you to shoot for longer, right? Now this looks crazy, actually. I'm going to kind of clean this up a little bit only because it just looks that crazy. You have radars, you have anti-radars, you have booster packs, you have scopes. Like, look, I'm going to show you that scope. It's really cool. This creates a bubble. I'll show you that too. This allows your weapons to be stronger. This makes everything stronger. Anything that's attached to the nodes, if you look, you'll see those little like 3 dots? Those are power nodes, and whatever's attached to them gets that buff, right? Now look, as you just seen when I was building, you see the circles? That's the turn radius, right? So you don't want to have things that are too close together. Too close together because then they bump into each other. So you need to have distance, right? So anyway, let's get into it. You hit the button to do test drive. Once you're in the test drive, you can go around. Now that's your build. That's your Leviathan, and that's your helicopter, right? So you can just drive around your whole area. I wanted to show you the power testers. So you see that? That's my friend, a guy on my friends list, just cruising around. Now it is a bot version of his build. So whenever you get off the game, whatever car you have in your slot, your friends will have that car randomly spawn. So now I can go up to him and beat my horn and get a reward, or I can kill him and get a reward. So you can test your stuff out on your friends' stuff. So look, these will show you the damage you're doing, right? And that bubble thing I was talking about before, boom, that's like a protective bubble. Now if I shoot this guy, see, look, he gets mad and he'll shoot me back. But, oh no, he's gonna kill me because I don't have any armor on. But look, if I go up to this friend right here, I can go right up to him, and then he says something, and then I can beep at him, and we get a reward, right? And you see I have a bunch of people all over the place. So now, boom, back in our garage, we have all the main parts, right? So we have the wheels, we have the frame, we have the cab, we have the guns, and all the other good stuff. This is your armor. This is where you're going to use all your armor. You're going to make your car as beefy as possible, give it as much health as possible. This is what you're going to want to be doing the most of, or just what you're going to want to be practicing with the most, because armor in the right place is definitely the most important part of any car, right? But now also look at this. You see how it says right here, the feature has those bullets 90%? That means it's a pass-through part, which means regular shots have a 90% chance to go through that part without damaging it, right? So those are very useful. So keep this in mind. This is one of the only rules you need to know as a new player. When you are mounting your weapons go in 3 different places. You either put your weapon directly on the cab itself, you put your weapon directly on the frame itself, or you use a pass-through part and you put the weapon on that pass-through part, which is basically considered a mount. So anything that has those bullets 90% as a feature, that's a very strong pass-through part. Now I know what you're thinking. The durability is only 34. That doesn't seem like a lot. Go ahead and test it. Anybody who plays Crossout will tell you this is 100% real. This part will take more damage because technically 90% of the time it's not taking damage. Get it? So that's basically that. So now that we did that, let's move on. The storage is the same thing. I just can activate the storage through the garage, which is where you're going to be building, so it's easier. But if you just want to peruse your items, you can just open up your storage and you can just look at all the stuff you have, right? So you can just go through, see stuff. This is where you can actually go in and sell. So like, look, I can click on it. It'll show me like what it's selling for, you know. You can upgrade it, salvage it, which means just get rid of it, which you probably never use. You can check the parameters, which gives you all the information on the part, all that good stuff. You can go through by part, by rarity. You can organize it by type, right? So you can do all different types of organization here. Upgrading is basically the fuse thing I was talking about, which is something very advanced. You're not going to have to worry about that, so don't even. Just focus on the basics and playing right now. Same thing with decoration recycling. Don't ever do this. I've wasted so many good, like, decent things that I wasn't ever going to use. Like, it didn't hurt me by losing it. But what I got in return was such garbage, I should have just kept the items I had. So don't ever do this. Building, this is all your building material, which I have all out on my range. So you're not going to see much here. But if you were to build ramps and stuff, like in crafting, if you go to building, you build these weird ramps and stuff for your range and you're not using it, that will be in your storage under building. Now, the shop are the packs that they're selling, obviously. You don't need to do this. The only thing you should buy is the battle passes. That's it. The battle passes are very cheap. It's $10. You get a very, 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 very good deal because you get so much stuff out of it. And it severely increases the rate in which you grow in this game. But you get the battle pass for free and you get some of the items for free anyway. So if you want the exclusive battle pass stuff, then yes, spend a little bit of money and buy the battle passes. But the packs you don't need. And if you see a pack that you really want and you're like, damn, like this Santa Claus guy is awesome. I really want this. It will come back. It's going to come back. It's not going to disappear. I know it says 21 hours left, but in 2 weeks, I'll probably see Santa Claus again, right? So if you are going to spend money, don't fret. It's not a big deal. Now, as you see, this pack is for money. And this one says the CROSSCROWNS, which is the things up here. You can actually buy CROSSCROWNS with money, and that's how you would buy that pack, which I don't know why they do it different sometimes, but they do. Coins, which are used on the market. The market is ran by coins. That as well you can buy, and they have the customization stuff like skins, right? So that's a skin, that's a skin, that's a skin. These are paints. If you look in the storage, I showed you the accessories are like flares and horns and like ducks and exhaust pipes and wings and balloons and all this other weird stuff. Paints are also a big thing. I have every paint in the game. It cost me a lot of money to do it. My OCD kicked in one night and I just couldn't help myself. So I bought every single paint in the game. But that would be considered customization. And also if you go into the storage and like I said, the skins, like these are all skins, right? So this makes these items look like that, right? So you would buy it. To apply it, you would just click on it, drag the item in there, and you would apply the skin to it, and then that would be the skins. But that's not something you need to really get into. There's also stickers. You can add stickers to your car, which I don't really get into as well, but stickers are another part, you know? And these are your resources. So this is where you collect all your little resources. You can see how much you have. The badges, like I told you, that's something you get while you're in a clan. So definitely look into getting into a clan immediately. Now, one thing I just noticed that I kind of glanced over because I unlocked all of them is this, your intelligence, right? After a certain level, you're going to start collecting intelligence, which is this. It's your co-driver. So your co-driver is basically like the guy next to you in the car who you're getting these buffs off of, right? And to unlock them, you're going to need to unlock them with the intelligence, which you're going to earn by playing the game. So that's also something not to forget about, but that's pretty far into the game, so you're not going to need to really worry about that. Now, exhibition is very big. I kind of left this a little bit towards the end because for a new player, you wouldn't think it, but I didn't realize this for a very long time. You can go into exhibition and you can type in whatever you want. So let's say I really like the Reaper machine gun. I never used the Reaper machine gun. I don't have the Reaper machine gun. But I'm thinking about taking the little bit of coins I saved up and buying one. Or I'm thinking about taking the little bit of scrap I saved up and building one. Before you do that, go to exhibition, type in Reaper. You can filter the search by that gun. You can find all these builds that have Reapers on them. Now, like I said, you can like it, you can download the blueprint, or you can just test drive it. Now that you're going to be in your own range, so like, boom, you can try it out, you can see how it feels for you, right? Or you can go around and find your friends, you can kill your friends with these builds, you know? Also, it'll show you, if you go over here to the parts list, it'll show you the parts that are used to make up this car. Now, right here, you see this box? This is like the build box. So look, if I were to go into my build and I look over, I only have 431 durability, which is my health. My power score is only 6,500. I still have one more energy I can use, and I'm very low on mass. So I can put a lot more armor onto this car. Also, my max speed, the tonnage, the acceleration, and my co-driver is Grizzly, right? So that's all the information. That's the information box. That's that, and that's going to be accessed in your garage. But when you're in exhibition, you'll also see that because I build all my builds, but some people, there's like meta builds that come out, like this for example. A lot of people use this exact car because they all came here and downloaded it, and they all just use the exact same car, which I don't really think is that cool. I think the biggest part of this game is the building. So you build something that's awesome, and you go off and show that shit off, right? So anyway, that's exhibition, and trust me when I say you're going to want to test everything before you buy it. Everything, every weapon and every cab. The engines and generators don't really matter. You want them anyway, but guns all shoot differently. There's a feel for them, and there's a lot of times where I bought weapons that I didn't like the feel for them, you know? And fortunately for me, I just started collecting all of them, so like I have basically like every gun. But when I didn't, and I bought, let's say, the Reapers, originally, those guns I just looked up, originally I bought them, and they have so much recoil, my car was flipping in the air. I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to use this gun if I can't stop my car from flipping over? Because I was such a low level, I didn't have enough armor to weigh myself down, and it became a problem. But, like I said, do your research, use the exhibition. That will help you the most. Your game center, again, is just weird little goofball modes that you can make, blah, 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 all that good stuff. Now, here's the bread and butter, okay? Your challenges. Your challenges are where you're going to get a lot of stuff. So, you have your regular challenges, which are your daily challenges. You get 7 of them, okay? Always do your daily challenges. I'm going to make a video on this. I can come on every day for 45 minutes to an hour and do every single challenge, including my clan stuff, all within an hour. So as long as you can spare an hour of your time out of the day, you're never going to miss a challenge. You're going to continue to grow, and you're going to get all those nice free rewards. So every day you're going to have this. Complete 2 battles, in missions, brawls, whatever. Win them, do a certain amount of damage. Then this is going to change. So it says 0 out of 2, but after you do this, there's another 0 out of 3. So technically it's 5. You're going to need to, win 2 battles with a cannon, either a rocket launcher, a melee, a mine layer, uncategorized. That's the type of weapon you're going to have equipped to your car. Now, I'll get more in depth with that, but just keep in mind, like, machine gun, cannon, and shotgun. Like, that's what you're going to need and filter through. And you can literally craft, like, look, I can craft a Lapura shotgun for 30 scrap and 6 copper. That's basically nothing. Like, when I say that, and I'm not saying that because I have so much stuff, even for you as a new player, if you play one game, you're going to get hundreds of this stuff, So to make a shotgun doesn't cost you nothing, So don't think you won't be able to do that. You don't need to be a super high power score. You can make all white items and go into a game with all white items, and you're going to be playing against people that have all white items. So, it's not that big of a deal. This one is just liking stuff, so you're going to go into the brawls and see people's different games they made and just like them. Like, oh, nice stuff, dude. Good. I like your game type. Whatever. It could be random. Doesn't matter. But look, I just completed it. It just told me I completed it, and I got 25 scrap just for liking those games. Buy or sell an item on the market, same thing. You can sell a minimal amount of scrap. You can buy a minimal amount of scrap. You can buy a brake light for 10 cents. It'll still count, and you'll get 25 scrap. Complete daily challenges, which you're going to do regardless because you should be completing all of them. Now, that's just regular, okay? If you go to next step is the main battle pass. Now, I wanted to wait until the main battle pass challenges came out. Like, I was going to wait 3 days until they refresh. But these are weekly. Now, every day you'll get this challenge where you have to earn patches, right? Which is very easy. Just play a bunch of games and you'll get this done in no time. But that's the only daily one. The other ones are weekly, and it says when it resets. But that's for the main battle pass. Like I said, even if you didn't buy the battle pass, you still get some of those items, so you still kind of want to do this as well. This is the mini battle pass. The main battle pass lasts for 23 days left, but usually it's like 90 days. It's like 3 months, right? The other one is only 1 month. So if you go back to the challenges, this is like 90 days worth of challenges. This is like 30 days worth of challenges. And self-explanatory, go into the next step mission, score that amount, and help, not even destroy, but destroy or help destroy 10 enemies. Very easy to get. Now this right here is the event. The events are the best because very easy things to do. The events are fun and you get pretty good stuff out of it. So you'll get this crate, and then in the crate you have a chance to get these items. You see what I'm saying? Same thing with this crate. You have a chance to get ore. Ore is how you make relics. This shit's extremely expensive. This is like the rocky gold of the game, right? But you'll learn that eventually. But the events are very lucrative. That's where you kind of want to make sure you do those. Then you have your clan challenges, which obviously you won't have unless you join a clan. So I suggest you do that. Now, when you're looking for a clan, the only thing I'm going to say about that is make sure there are at least some players that are active. Do a little bit of research, because if you join a clan and nobody's in it and just it's dead literally, you can leave, but you're going to have to wait like 3 days before you can join a new clan. So that might hold you back a little bit. Make your choice wisely, right? Now, badge exchange, like I told you before, when you're in a clan, you're earning all these badges, you have an exchange slot. So I can get a crate, I can get all of these resources, right? Now look at these crates, possible contents. These are pretty good stuff right here, you know? And it's guaranteed that I get one of them, right? And right now, I can buy one. I can buy one of those, or I can buy 4 of these, which still are pretty good items, right? But I usually use the badges to get resources. I like to craft stuff more than taking the risk, you know? But you can do that because, look, the possible contents will change. Like, so in 2 days, 21 hours, the contents of this box will change, and I'll get a whole new, fresh chance of getting items, right? But you can do this and like check to see which one's selling for like the most, you know? Because sometimes like you'll get really good. Like this one looks pretty good. It doesn't look like anything in here is cheap. Like the lowest you're going to get 300 coins, which isn't bad, right? So maybe that box would be worth taking a risk on, honestly, right? What else do we got here? So we were at challenges. Yep, back to challenges. Boom. That's the clan stuff. The clan challenges will give you the badges, and that's how you use those badges. Now, up here is the battle passes, right? So the main battle pass is called Next Step. As you see, these are all the rewards. These bearings are basically like the currency, so you can use those bearings to craft the items of the battle pass. Now, the battle passes are something completely different within themselves. It's a very long explanation and lengthy discussion on what's good, what's not good, should you buy it, should you not buy it, blah, 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 blah. All I'm going to say is this, and this is what we're going to end on. If you try the game, and when I say try the game, I mean actually play it for like a week, and you like the game, buy the battle passes. Because you're going to regret not buying the battle passes. It's very cheap, and it's well worth it, okay? Also, and listen when I say this, and please listen carefully. This video was specifically just to get more eyes on the game, okay? I just explained stuff barely. I just kind of did a quick overview of the game. I'm making a lot of videos that are going to be very in-depth about very specific parts of this game. Now, you can watch them, and you're going to learn a lot. But you can also watch other people, obviously. But listen to this, and please, please, I'm begging you, please listen to this. Do not use general chat as a way of learning the game, ever. Now, that's another way why I say being in a clan is great, because my first clan helped me so much with learning and adapting to this game. But if you go to the main menu and you look down, look at the first thing that's popping up in the general chat. The general chat is out of control sometimes. Like, there are people who literally just play this game just to hang out in general chat. Now, you can turn it off up here, and you can hide stuff, and you can ban certain words if you want, blah, 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 blah. But if I were to go in here and be like, hey, guys, is this item good? And it's not. 80% of the people who respond are going to say, yeah, it's the best item in the game. Like, they're just going to troll you. They're going to make you spend money that's not going to be good. Now, I'm not saying every person on this... I got to close this because it's getting out of control. I'm not going to say every person on this game is terrible. But there are very... I don't want to call them famous because they're not. I'm not giving them credit. But they're infamous trolls in this chat. You're going to learn their names very quick. Everybody knows who they are. And they're known to just... have useless information, right? But if you were somebody who just kind of popped in and didn't know what was going on, you would see them talking a lot as usual, and they would be spewing a lot of bullshit, and they would sound a lot like they know what they're talking about, but they don't. They really don't. And sometimes they actually believe their own bullshit, which is even crazier. But then you have to laugh and look and be like, yo, I just played the game for like 2 hours, but every time I got out the game, I noticed blah, blah, blah was in the chat. Yeah, because he hasn't played the game. Even if he has chat open in the game, he's typing too much to actually be playing because those people don't play the game. They just sit here, talk, spew bullshit. And like I said, if you watch my videos, I'll always give you an honest opinion. Not only that, if you are a new player and you are watching this video, feel free to post any question you have in the comments below, and I will give you my honest opinion, and I will tell you. I'll always tell you whether or not, in my opinion, like if I think this to be true, or if I know for certain that this is true, right? I will always differentiate, okay? So feel free to just ask me anything. Honestly, like, I spent a lot of time and money on this game, and like I said, I only throw the money thing out there for one reason. I'm not trying to brag and flex and look cool. I'm just trying to explain to you that I did a speed run into this game, right? So I came in very late. I only been playing this game for a little over a year, and I was very far behind, and I was learning stuff so quickly because of my clan, and I loved the game so much that I was like, damn, I want to be on everybody else's like level. And it doesn't even mean to the point where it's going to make me better or stronger than you as a new player. What I mean by on this level, meaning I have all the items basically, so I can give you an honest opinion on all the items because I've used them all. I have them all. I've made many different cars and tried many different builds with those items, right? So I would kind of know what I'm talking about considering I've owned those items. Not only own those items, but I own those items with the perfect fuse possible. Because all my items are fused. Every single one of those items, besides one I'm kind of holding on to sell when the market goes up, they're all fused because I collect fused items. That's what I do, right? So I'm a very good source of giving information, but I don't like to argue and get into like battles in the chat. So sometimes I'll whisper people if they ask a question and I see them like getting trolled. I'll be like, yo, don't listen to that person. Do this. If you don't believe me, don't believe me. But I'm telling you that this is the right move. That type of thing, right? I'm not going to sit here and try to convince you I know what I'm talking about. But as you can see, like let's just look really real quickly, right? So all these little lines right here mean the item's fused. This item doesn't have it because it's not fused. I'm waiting till the price goes back up. But look, all my cabs, right? Look, fused, 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 fused. All my weapons, fused. They're all fused. We're still going. More fused. Everything is fused. Let's go to the generators and the engines. Oh, even my generators and my engines are fused? Why is everything fused? Even the wheels are fused? Like, come on, dude. I put a lot of effort into knowing this game. I love this game, and that's why I'm making this video, is because I know there are people like me who I want to go in. I want to grind and build things. And then from the things that I build with those pieces. And I make a monstrosity of a killing machine. And I go into a game and I beat my horn and I shoot my flares in the air and I'm gunning people down. You know what I mean? I'm driving and I'm shooting and I'm driving and I'm hovering and I'm spidering. Like, I love this fucking game. I love it. Love it. And the best part is, and I didn't even really explain this part to you too, but look, you have your raids where you're going to fight bots and you're going to also, be with a team that are real people, but you're going to be fighting bots. The missions, the old classic missions, have two right here that are PvE. So if you're not comfortable fighting other people, right? Or for some reason, you just want to fight bots, you can go fight AI as well here. And here, you can get scrap. You can get more copper. So in raids, you're not going to really find scrap. But if you don't want to do a regular classic mission for scrap, you can do a bot patrol mission for scrap. See what I'm saying? So you have so many options, right? Because some people love to go into patrol, because patrol is versus AI. See how it says that? They like to make these crazy, funny art builds. If you look on my YouTube, you'll see some shorts I have posted. People build full-size Pokemon and run around with laser eyes and shit. It gets crazy, man. This game is awesome. And I'm not going to add any gameplay into this video. Like I said, this video is specifically just me explaining the game. But if you want to see gameplay, just go on my channel. I have a file dedicated to Crossout, and that should have some stuff in there. Now, the more serious, in-depth videos are now going to be coming because I wanted this to be the first video to start it all off, to kind of be the intro into my Crossout series. You know what I'm saying? So, that's it. You know, and this is what I'm gonna leave you guys with, and this is the end of the video, right? The game is free, so just at least try it, right? Also, when you get into the game, don't listen to the general chat. Do not listen to the general chat. Unless you feel like you've made a friend and you really can trust him, like, maybe. But you might as well just come back and ask me, because I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm going to give you the best response probably possible, right? Also, when you're building your cars, or whatever you're building, whatever vehicle you're building, your guns only go mounting on the cab, on the frame, and on a mounting piece. Do not mount your gun on anything else. Sometimes, bumpers. Bumpers will also work. But you do not want to mount your guns to like a big armor piece because it's got a lot of durability. Like, you're not going to lose your guns immediately, but they're going to come off twice as fast, okay? And for me, I'm telling you right now, when I play this game, I shoot for guns. I used to try to shoot the wheels and legs off of people to immobilize them, but then you realize, like, you're taking a bunch of damage while you're doing that. So if I come in and I shoot your guns off in a matter of 20 seconds, I'll leave you just to drive around the rest of the match looking like an idiot. And I'm not the only one out there doing that. So protect your guns. Mount your guns the right way. That's the best piece of advice I can give you. Other than that, give the game a try. Have a great day. Have fun. I'm telling you right now, you're never going to have a problem with this game. You're going to love it. It's going to bring so much joy to you, and you're going to be busy forever. Have a great day, guys. I really, really hope to see you on here, and I hope this game gets the recognition it needs, because it should be such a big game, and I don't know why it's not. Probably, I'm just guessing, and I say probably, because nobody uses Steam to get it. So everybody looks at it and sees, like, only 200 people on this game? Like, no, dude. Not even close. I have 200 people in my garage. You know what I'm saying? So, I keep snapping. Why am I snapping? I'm getting tired. I need to go to sleep. I hope you guys have the best day possible. I enjoy you guys enjoying the games that I enjoy, because the thing of it is I want to keep posting Crossout stuff, but I feel like sometimes it's like my audience doesn't get it. You know, so many people ask me, what game is that? And I'm like, what? Even though I'll label it or title it or put it in the description, right? So, like, this is just the kickoff to me explaining this is Crossout. This is on PC. It's on Xbox. It's on PlayStation. You can play it too for free. So give it a try. Let me know if you have any questions. And I hope you have the best time ever, because I know you will. Peace.